What is going on out there, you rejects? I am so happy that I can call you all rejects because guess what? You have two rejects right here that embrace that full heartedly. Am I right?
We rejecting over here. We
We
reject.
we are rejecting over here, rejecting all day, every day. Today, I have I fell in love with Sabrina when she was on a show called Ready to Love. Me and my best friend Jamie, we decided out of the nowhere to just start talking about a show. She recommended this one. I was like, perfect. We're in this space of love. We're like learning, trying to figure it all out. Why not watch a show? And she was on the season as one of the people trying to find love. And I fell in love with her immediately. The level of consciousness that she exudes, confidence, awareness, you can feel it in her spirit. There's so much experience. And it doesn't hurt that she's incredibly gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, God. Should have brought some powder.
Right, I know. Shoot, I'm like, well, shit. That too. Yeah, and we so happened and then connect after that and just start talking. And I've come onto her show a few times on her panel to talk about other seasons of Ready to Love. And I just really enjoy this person as a human being. And she was the perfect fit to come on here to talk about rejection and reflection, especially because she had the audacity to actually reject on her season the man that was really trying to act like he wanted her, but she had this discernment, and that tool, I tell you, has been cultivated so beautifully, so sharply, but like that samurai sword sharp, where it's like it's designed to cut specific things, not everything, and it's only for certain scenarios that you actually need that type of resilience and strength to cut through things. She had that samurai sword. She said, boom, boom. No, boy, I see through your shit. I'm not accepting this. So she's not just a reject. She's also good at rejecting as well, which is great. You need a balance in this world, right?
God, I still hear so much about it. Like, yeah, you left him on the bridge. You took the roses and you walked off and you left him and he turned and looked at the water.
Literally.
That's exactly how it happened.
Literally. And watching it, I think my jaw was on the floor. I was like,
I don't think a lot of people were expecting that, though. The decision, no. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people, everybody, just from like the response I got after that episode, people were like, we really thought that you were going to choose him. Like, no one believed. Like, so many women were like, you did what I wish I could have done in so many of my past relationships. They're like, this one lady was like, I had to show my daughter. She's like, my daughter was 15 years old. She was like, I had to have her watch the season and I had to let her know, like, it's okay to choose yourself. I mean, it was an overwhelming like response that I got from it. And I had no idea. And it was so crazy because I'd already known what I was going to do the night before. And I said to myself, I said, America's going to hate me. In real life. I was like, because they're looking for this fairy tale. And I was like, I'm not going to give them that fairy tale because I have to be true to me. At the end of the day, it's a TV show, but this is my real life. I got a real life 10-year-old. I have a real, you know what I'm saying? I have a real life job I have to get back to. And I refuse to be on national TV faking when I got real stuff going on in my life. And I was like, how can I incorporate something so fake into my real life? I was like, I can't do it. I haven't done it ever. So why am I going to start now? And I said, it's going to be a lot of people that's probably going to hate me and my decision. They're going to be so disappointed. And I'm like, but lucky for me, I'm doing it for me.
That part.
Yeah. So it is what it is. And I said, now just deal with the backlash of, when it happens. And I got the complete opposite response. So I thought that was really amazing. It really made me feel kind of good. Like, dang, it validated me in my feelings and my thoughts and my worth and everything who I am. And it reminded me that, Sabrina, you're on the right track. Like, Don't ever second guess yourself. Don't ever doubt yourself. Like, whatever decision that you feel and it comes from in here, doesn't matter who can like it, who doesn't like it, who does like it, doesn't matter. As long as it's coming from in here, then that's what it'll be.
It was so good that I didn't think, but you could think if you are aware of the whole world of production that it
Mhm.
would be produced like it because it was so good. But you could also tell it was so authentic, so you knew it wasn't. But it was a producer's dream, is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
essentially,
they
right? To
had no
kind of
idea.
break the mold and not give them what they wanted, but
Yeah,
like give
guys.
them that contrast.
Let me tell you what happened. I don't think I've ever talked about this in any of my interviews. So when I pulled up, they were like, he's here. He looks amazing. He has like 5 dozen roses. Like, he's going to choose you. And I was like, oh. They were like, Sabrina. They were like, you're going to choose him, right? I was like, so do I just do it when I see him, or do I have to let y'all know ahead of time? They were like, you need to let us know. I was literally in my car about to get out to go film, to go meet him. They were like, you need to let us know right now. I was like, I'm not choosing him. They were like, are you sure? I was like, you talking to a grown woman. I'm sure. So they were like, she's not choosing him. She's not choosing him. Yeah. So what do we do? I mean, do we just, yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. I think it changed the dynamics of everything. They had to go and tell these producers, those producers had to run to the other producers with the cameras and like
Scramble.
it was a lot, but it is what it is.
I know that they were definitely just in chaos mode, not like just had a whole thing set up. The whole, I mean,
Yeah.
that's good. That's what they needed. I
Mhm.
love that you were like, I'm a grown ass woman. Yes, I am sure. Because those
Right.
producers, they will try to pry and use
Yeah.
anything they can to really navigate you into what they desire. They're
Mhm.
great. I don't want to call them manipulators, but they kind of are, and that's their job. Like that's what they're
Absolutely.
supposed to do.
Right.
Um, I just think it's so fascinating because we are of a certain age
Yes.
and
Right.
we look incredible, I might say,
I
for
was
being of a certain age. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to start, or at least start in the process of when you were able to actually step into this space of choosing yourself first.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, when did that happen? I know the major question that I always ask here is, how did rejection shape you into the human being that you are today? How has that shaped you in this moment right now? That's a part of it, I'm sure. So I'm sure that's going to be entailed in those details. But God, for you to just really be so sure of yourself and aware,
Mhm.
when was there a pivotal moment that happened? Was that an accumulation of events?
Definitely accumulation. Um, because we're not perfect, we're human.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to go through the same lessons over and over and over again. And I did. So I started getting rejected at a very, very young age. It started, in junior high school. And instead of me being like rejected by this man, it was being rejected by women. And I was bullied, and it hurt my feelings, and I had no idea why. I was like, why are they being so mean to me? I
Mm.
didn't know. I always say, especially when I do public speaking, one of the things that I always say is, I wish I had a me growing up. Like, I wish I had someone that was older that could guide me and to talk to me and say, don't you know, like, you have a light? Did you see
Whoa!
how
Whoa!
Yeah, like, don't you know, like, you're beautiful? And not even just on the outside, She was like, it's you. It's something about you, and they see it. And they don't know how to respond to it. So that's why they treat you the way that they do. So it started off at a very young age when I was a teenager. And then as I got older into my 20s, and then that's when I was really dating, and I had all these men doing all these things to me. And I'm thinking that I'm being the best woman that I could be for them. And, they would cheat on me, or they would, put their hands on me or whatever, so it was like, it was hard growing up and, being the woman that I was, thinking I should be like this to be accepted by, this group or him or my boyfriend or my parents or, so that's when it hit me really, really hard. And as I got into my 30s, in my early 30s, that's when I was like, I just don't give a F anymore now. So I completely turned into a whole nother person. And the person that I turned into was straight savage. I mean, savage. I was about that life. And because I said to myself for all these years, like I was that person that, I wanted everyone to like me. I wanted everyone to love me. I wanted to be everyone's friend, girls and guys, I just want to be accepted. I was never popular in school. Like, I was talked about and, like even with the men, it was like how they treated me. Like I was just disposable. And I just was like, golly, like I'm thinking that I'm doing all the right things to have these women like me. And I'm thinking I'm doing all the right things to have these men love me. And that's not working. So how about I just do whatever the freak I want to
180.
do? Exactly. And I said, and if they like me, they like me. They don't, but they probably won't. And I don't care. And that's the life that I lived for like 10 years. But during that time and having that kind of mindset, I was growing too in the process because I said, but inside Sabrina, you're really still a good person. You know what I mean? But you a savage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's how it was. So I was straight savage, but it gave me that confidence to finally speak up for myself. So if I did see someone getting bullied or someone being mean to someone over there, I'd be like, why are you talking to them like that? Before the Sabrina before would have been like, dang, I hope she all right. But I mean, that's not me. I would step in and I would help you fight that fight. And I wouldn't even know this person. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the person that I turned into. I was like, I'm just going to be that voice that I needed growing up. And I'm just going to be it for the people that need it now. And to show them like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Stand up for yourself. And it's okay to stand up for yourself. And it's nothing wrong that you're doing. You're absolutely amazing. You're perfect. Live in your skin and screw them.
Yeah.
And that was my voice. And as time went on, I really loved the person that I was becoming. And the savage Sabrina started to kind of shed. So it was like, I was like this caterpillar and then I went into my cocoon to kind of like morph. And then, as I got older into my 40s, my early 40s is when I turned into that butterfly. And I said to myself, I will never allow myself to go back to where I was. And I will never allow anybody on this earth to put me back there. And it was a journey. And that's why I protect my peace at all costs.
Say it for people in the back.
I protect my peace at all costs. Like it's so many things in this life that so many people strive to get. And all these things are so free. So free. It's like the most expensive things that money cannot buy. And being free is one of them. And once I got a taste of that freedom, I was like, oh, honey, this is where it's at.
Nothing tastes better than that. Nothing tastes better than that.
I'm so at peace with myself. I'm so confident in myself. Like when people say, you're so beautiful. And I'll say, I know. And I'll be like, but thank you. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just joking. Yeah. But like, so when I talk about myself, I'm like, I know I'm a beautiful woman. And before I never spoke like that about myself. I remember it was times when I would like walk by the mirror. I remember someone came up to me, this lady friend that I had. I was 27 years old. And this was the beginning of when I was about to turn straight savage. She was like, I was like, why is she so mean to me? I was like, I just don't understand it. She was like, have you ever looked in the mirror? She was like, have you looked in the mirror lately, Sabrina? I was like, I actually thought to myself, I can't remember the last time I really looked in the mirror. I'm not even trying to be funny.
No, yeah.
Like, you know how you look in the mirror, you brush your teeth? I literally could not remember the last time I saw myself in the mirror. I was 27 years old when she said that to me. She said, "You're beautiful." I was like, "I am?" So that really hit home for me. So now when I look in the mirror, I see myself every time. It took me a long time to get to where I am. A long time. When I turned 36 years old, I said, I don't care if it's the last thing I do before my last breath, I'm gonna look in the mirror. Like, it's so important. It's so many of us that don't look in the mirror. We don't look in the mirror. And I think it's because we're scared of what we're gonna see.
Well, yeah, and I think it comes from the fears that people have implanted in us from being rejected so much. Like when
Yeah,
you were a kid, when these people were bullying you, was it because you looked different?
absolutely. I always say, back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. It's a song. It's a song. I think of
Yeah.
Mike Jones. I think it was Mike Jones. I think it was a song that he sang, and that's exactly how it was. And it was crazy because even the boys liked me, but because it was embarrassing to like me, they didn't like me because I was choi yoing yoing, because
Right.
I was half Korean, because I smelled like garlic, because I didn't have that look like the other girls did. You know what I mean? So, but now it's crazy because all of them follow me on Facebook. All my high school friends, whatever they were. I mean, they weren't my friends then, but and it's like now they see me. And I remember when Kimora Lee Simmons hit the scene with Russell Simmons with baby fat and all that. Like, I look like Kimora, like we
Yeah.
favored each other. So
Mhm.
because Kimora Lee was hot, it was like, oh, all the mixed Asian women, oh, that's where it's at now. That's where it's at. So it's like, I'm thinking, like, what happened? I'm so confused now because I was like the ugly duckling, but now I'm like the most wanted. Like, what? And that's where it shifted for me, is when Kimora Lee Simmons came out. So the look was now cool to be with a woman that was half Asian. You know what I'm saying? And it just completely disgusted me. Let me just say that.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because media is so impactful to the consciousness, and
So yeah,
it can be a great thing because then you're like, okay, well, I'm finally seen, and I'm sure Kimora dealt with a tremendous amount of rejection on that path
absolutely.
to finally being recognized because there
Hmm.
was nobody that looked like her. There was nobody pushing that
Yep.
image. It was definitely a different mindset, a different view of beauty back then.
Hmm.
Um, and it's like media. It's always media, but it's the people that are courageous, like her, to just kind of not let those voices impact the way that she moves.
Yeah.
That she was able to sit in herself and say, "This is who I am," and then from that impact so many amazing people like you to be like, "I can do that too. Then I can do that."
Hmm.
And you're doing that now, which is even more incredible. And it's
Hmm.
funny, growing up, I always loved the people that looked different. They were always most beautiful to me. But maybe it's because I look different. So there was that,
Hmm.
that relatability in that space.
Yeah.
Man, that is so because the looking in the mirror thing, to be quite honest, I know exactly what that's like. I did that a lot. Even I find myself doing it now with the gym for many years. I won't look at myself. I'll look down at my chest, so you can't tell I'm not looking at myself. And I was in the front of a mirror so much, or in a camera, that I saw myself all the time. It's not that I didn't see myself,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I don't remember when it was or what it was, but like I think for me it was always that I just wasn't white enough. I didn't look white enough,
Hmm.
and back then there was no space really for me, what I am. So I
Hmm.
would always just try to be that representation of it. So I kind of just got sick of looking at myself. I didn't want to see what was in the mirror on the other side.
Yeah.
I just stopped. And I guess my outlets would be in in a dance class, like staring at myself. That was the way that I could perform to myself with the power and the strength and the audacity to be like, bitch, you bad.
That's
Bitch, you
right.
bad.
Yeah.
But like when I wasn't in that space or on camera, it was easy to just be like, to perform. But if it wasn't on that space, you know, to be quite honest, still to this day, I have to look in the mirror and be like, hey, you're beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful. You're not this, you're not that. You are you, and you are beautiful. Everything about you that you want to rip apart, everything that you want to criticize, have an opinion on in a negative way, guess what? You're perfect the way that you are. You are beautiful.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, stop. You made me blush.
You are. I think you're so handsome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so
Keep going.
Your hair is fabulous.
Stop it. No, but
Yes.
seriously,
Yes,
thank you.
everything.
And
I think you're so handsome.
same with you. You are gorgeous.
Thank
And
you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you are able to see that now. And I'm happy that you're able to give that to yourself when you
Yeah.
look in the mirror now and not need the validation of anybody in your surroundings
Yes.
to support who you are and how you feel and the reality of
Yeah.
the situation.
Absolutely.
You know?
Because for so long, I needed that validation.
Right.
I did, from the men, from the women, from my parents. I needed it. And when I didn't get it, I was like, what the hell? Like, what am I going to do? And I was like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I was doing all the right things and you didn't like me. So guess what? I'm going to do all the things that I want to do. And if you don't like me, it don't matter because you was already not liking me. So
period.
I was like, I'm already losing. So let me just do what I want to do. And I did. I was out here living my best life. Let me tell you. I was living my best life and didn't care what nobody thought. And people and I gave them something to talk about at this point. I sure did. And did not care. Didn't care.
That's how you know you're doing the right thing. That's exactly how you know you're doing the right thing, is when they start talking about it, when you give them a conversational topic or a feeling to feel. And most of the time, it's not a feeling to feel that's good. They want to have an opinion of their own unhealthy state of mind and reflect that into your reality. But it's cool. I'm obviously triggering you in some way, so I might be doing something right.
Absolutely. I did. Let me tell you something, Gus. I did not care. Let me tell you. If I could tell some of the stories, honey, it was, and it's crazy because I can honestly say that those were some of the best times of my life.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
They were some of the most
liberating.
Disturbing. Yeah, liberating, and like I'm surprised I'm still alive.
Yes, I feel you. I know. Yeah.
Let me tell you, so I was like, let's jump off the train. Okay. Like, that's just how it was. Like, let's just, let's just drive to Texas tomorrow. Okay. Like let's just drink till we just pass out for 3 days. Okay. I mean, I was like, and that's honestly why I decided not to have any kids young. That's why I waited to have a child, closer to my 40s, because I was like, because when I think I turned like 28 or 29, I was like, do I want to have a kid now or do I want to have a kid later? I was like, now, later. Now, I was like, I'm kind of in the streets right now. I was like, but if I have a kid, because I knew once I had a kid, I was going to be there for that kid, like 1000%. And I was like, no, I'm not ready. So on purpose, like I literally planned almost everything my whole life. Everything that I've done, I've pretty much planned it, like on purpose. And I didn't have any kids because I wanted to be flued out. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't someone flying me out, I was flying myself out. I was making a lot of money. I wanted to eat good. I wanted to travel. I wanted to buy a house on the water. I wanted to buy jet skis. I wanted to tan every day. I wanted to drink, $1,000 champagnes, and I wanted to eat, you know what I'm saying? Like
all of the above. Yes.
I wanted to eat $400 steak. I just was like, I'm not ready to have a kid, and then when I hit 36, I was like, that was fun. I was like, I think I'm ready to have a kid now.
Yeah,
And
your
then,
thirst was quenched.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so glad I did it the right way. The only thing is that all my friends, all their kids are like in their 20s now. So I'm like, hey, what you doing? Yeah, my kids are grown. We're in Dubai. I'm like,
Right.
oh no.
Role reversals, just different space, different times.
Exactly. So, it works. It works. I'm like, yeah, I have a young daughter. At least I didn't have arthritis in my knees then. Now I just, have it now. I can just chill and let her do all the running.
Yes, let her do the running for you.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good. I can honestly say that my life by far is perfect, but I've had one hell of a ride and I don't regret anything. And it's been a good life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. That's I think the point of being here, right? In this,
Absolutely.
to figure it out so that you can be in that space of just like having no regrets and just really enjoying these moments that keep being
Right.
created and being present for them. And I keep, I mean, I guess it's by design or maybe not, but everyone I've had on so far, everyone is just a really sensitive, deep soul. I guess that's just what we attract when we are in this space ourselves innately and naturally. And it's so, everything you spoke about with your experience, that is such the natural contributor to being that way. Like the oversensitivity, by, it's not even oversensitive, but just the awareness, the intuition,
Mhm.
to be able to feel even when they don't say something and still take that on, that to be an
Yeah,
empath of some sort.
exactly.
And then really, and still be a good person throughout all of that, and still be considerate and
Yeah.
thoughtful.
Yep.
And then you get to that place where you're just like, how do I do all of this? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be a bad bitch for a bit. I'm gonna be a bad bitch for a bit. Because
For a
then you
bit.
can really, that balance, then that balances you out at that point. You
Yeah.
need to discover that space, or else you might not know how to change direction when the universe is saying make a left. You're like, how? I don't know how.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when I think that, with the challenges and the detours and the wrong turns and like all those things, I'm very, very, very spiritual. And one thing about me is that I literally walk by faith. You know what I mean? And because I trust my heart so much, I don't even question the detours and the challenges. I'd be like, why you send me this way? I wonder. I'm excited to find out.
Yes,
Like, I
yes.
don't even, like, back in the day, I would have been like, God dang it. Like, why did that happen? I would get frustrated. But now
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I'm just enjoying the ride. Like, I don't know why I had to go this way. I don't know why I met Gus. I don't know why I'm doing YouTube. I don't know why I was on the show. I don't know. But obviously, I was supposed to do these things. I was supposed to meet these people. I was supposed to be here. I was supposed to, like, I trust in my footsteps so wholeheartedly that I'm literally enjoying this ride. I really am. And I wish more people would think like that.
Yeah.
The anxiety levels would be down, the depression would be down. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and with social media and how society like is portraying how life in this world and everything else should be, it's like so far from the truth. Like people really need to detach and really find themselves without the influences of all this crap in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be in my garden, I'd be planting little squashes and cucumbers, and me and my daughter, like really, like I'll go buy like loaves of bread and we'll go and feed the ducks. And like my friends that know me know I live a very simple life. People don't believe it. I'm like, because you see social media, Sabrina. I'm like, when this closes off and I'm not posting, like those are the things that I'm doing. Like we'll just go ride to the beach. I'll pack like sandwiches and chips because I'm real cheap too. We'll pack our own food, you know what I mean? And we'll go into the water to the beach. I'll let her play in the sand for a couple hours and we'll drive 2 hours back home. I mean, it's just the simple things is like the things that I think a lot of us are missing. And we're getting so caught up with trying to keep up.
Yeah.
It's
Everyone's feeling rejected by the constant comparison of not being that person. So then they take that
right.
personal. or they in that comparison then shows them, they think at least, like that they're not living fulfilled, or that they're not doing what they should be doing, or how other people are doing it. And it's when you do the things that you're talking about, the simple things, then you can actually hear your voice. You can hear your own voice that's going to
Yeah.
guide you to the space of what's right for you. You know,
Right.
you said a 2 or 3 hour drive to the beach. Absolutely. And with that mentality you're in, you enjoy the whole process of it. It's a
Well,
beautiful thing. It's not like I had to drive 2 or 3 hours to the freaking beach
even
just to
in
have a fight.
traffic, even in traffic, we'll sit and I'll turn the music up. We'll be sitting there, stop in traffic, and we'll be having a whole, singing session. We'll be singing all the songs, and I'll be like, "Here, you pick the songs, baby," and she'll go through, literally, and have a ball. It's the simple things, and I think too, because of her, it allowed me to see life even more differently. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes certain things, drastic things, maybe sometimes, to happen to you for you to like get in tune and tapped in a little bit more. But it's so many of us like pushing it out because we're not seeing the blessings and the signs right in our face. Like the universe talks to us every day,
Every moment.
everything around us, and people are just so disconnected, they don't see it. Like they really don't. And on a spiritual level, like when I talk, sometimes I try not to get too deep because people be like, this chick is crazy.
Perfect. That's why you're here. That's why I love you. Go there. I'm listening.
But I think that's how we even started our friendship, because I would
Yeah.
talk like this, and it was like, wow, they get me. I love Gus and Jamie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people
Yeah.
really do, like, they think, and I'm like, in real life, I'm like, the birds talk to you when you cut the TV on, the radio. It's signs all around us all the time. And guess what? A lot of us, we miss it. But me being so connected with the universe, like I'm looking for these signs. And when they say the universe is always speaking to you and talking to you, like when they say trust your gut, that's all it is. That's all it is. You just have to trust your instincts, your guts. You have to, and if you really, that's just like when you some people open up the Bible, some people pray, it's whatever your beliefs in. It's kind of like start getting tapped in and in tune with yourself. Close everything out. Everything. Close out Steve Harvey. Close out social media. Close your Bible out. I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm spiritual. I do believe in God, but I'm just saying close everything out and really sit and meditate and start bringing yourself in more and more. It's so much of you here. No, close all that stuff out. Bring all of you here. Bring yourselves back in and put it back inside of you so you can start being whole again.
Yeah.
A lot of people will not get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But I mean, You have the look on your face like, I think I get it. I think I get it.
Oh yeah. That's why we connect. We speak that same language. That's what this is all about, because I really believe when you can, I started rejection and reflection because I think if you can reflect on the rejection in the positive space and call yourself a reject with a gravitas, a bravado, but like, yeah, I've been rejected. If not for that, I wouldn't be able to see that. I wouldn't be able to cut out all the bullshit that didn't fit me to find myself again. And I think it's so important when you said, like, close everything off. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody who might be religious. I doubt that those people will find my channel, and I have my own points of view and my own way of living that is healthy for me. But like, if you can cut that voice out too, and you shut that book, and you stop just listening to what that person is saying on stage, or this class that you're in where they're feeding you information and you're just listening into it because you're listening to it and receiving it through the lens of somebody else, but you're not actually digesting it because you haven't eaten it yourself. Exactly. You haven't just put your own space in alignment and in protection so that you can actually hear the voice inside of you to find out what feels right and wrong. And if that voice still leads you to that place, more power to you. But at least you figured out that this is actually real for you, right?
And
did I make any sense, or did I just go off on some like
that's and
thing that I'm
no,
gonna have to cut
you make
from this?
perfect sense. And that is the beginning of having discernment.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Like it's not hard. We make it hard.
Mhm.
Like it's really easy, you know,
The
and
world, yeah. It tries to make it hard. The world, and I hate giving the world that strength. Like I love to think of it as a matrix or just something that where it's just a tool for us to completely break out of all of the programs and everything that's around us to just escape all of it and be like,
but the world is the rejection.
exactly. And that's exactly
Think
what it is.
about it. Let me tell you something. I can't even hold it back anymore. Let me tell you something.
Go.
This world that we're in, the crap that they feed us on the TV, the crap that they feed us in our mouths, the crap that they feed our eyes, the crap that they feed our ears.
Yep.
Do you know how many people committed during the
Right.
COVID?
Right.
Do you know the tolls of domestic violence rose because we were driving ourselves crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Because the stuff that they were feeding us, we weren't really getting it anymore. We were going crazy. We were going crazy. Oh, I got to go back outside. I got to go back outside. Oh, I'm finally back outside. I'm back out. Oh, I feel so much better. Because you're addicted. Your endorphins wasn't being fed.
Yeah. And they didn't have a sense of identity beyond the constant rhetoric of repeating the same patterns. That when
Absolutely.
everyone had to stop, no one knew how to acclimate to that
cope.
space.
Exactly.
And
I was
that's the
living my
scary
best
part.
life. I was like, oh shoot, I do
Same.
this all the time anyway.
Same. I was already doing it. I was already accustomed to
Right.
that lifestyle.
Right.
And that's how you know there is, I don't want to say a problem. I'm not trying to give anybody any type of, like power, but that's how you know that, the information and the education and the awareness that we could have on a daily really could be different and more beneficial to us as opposed to
Right.
the bull caca.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's facts. You know, I don't, oh God, I get so frustrated. I do, but I say to myself, you know what, Sabrina, the only thing you can control is yourself and what you do. You can't control others. So, and that's just where I am right now. And, you know, anytime that I get a chance to speak the positivity and speak my word and my truth, especially to help like just one person, just to take, like, don't take the red pill, take the blue pill, take
Yes.
out of the matrix, girl, get out of the matrix, boy. Like in real life, like that movie, The Matrix, I think people just saw The Matrix. I saw something so much deeper.
I saw The Matrix. And I think you and I and people like us, we already instinctively, intuitively knew. So when we saw that affirmation, it was like, oh, damn. Oh, damn.
In real life.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm not the only one. Because if they made a whole movie about it, I know I'm not crazy now.
I'm not saying you're not crazy, but I think crazy is a good thing. So
right. Yeah, because you can get it. you can still get it. Okay. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'm not about that life anymore. But guess what? You write about it once, you'll never forget. So yeah.
what you said about being affected or not affected still, but like having that awareness of what is going on. But not letting it take you to that space where then ultimately you're just back where you started because it's affecting you so much that you can't just be present and trust in the process.
Yes.
Like, I really do think you can just, and some people who don't understand this language will take this as being, then you're not being responsible and you're not aware of reality. I think when you are able to cultivate your experience to living in this space without any of that outside black noise chaos affecting the way you move, then you really are living. Absolutely. Then you really are alive. Then you really are human.
Absolutely. When I go to watch
or else you're a robot.
Let me tell you, when I go to watch the fireworks, or go to an event, I may record like 10 seconds of it just so I can have it for my little reels and stuff. But for the most part, I'm like this. Everybody else is looking at the fireworks through their phone. I was like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to look at my life through a lens. Like, I want to see it in HD, high definition, right in front of my face. And then what's going to happen is, and that's why if you ever notice that older people move very slow.
Yes. They're
I never
absorbing.
understood absorbing because they realize that time really does go by fast. And the older that I've gotten, I'd be like, oh my God, it's not enough hours in the day. The older I've gotten. Before, when I was younger, I'd be like, dang, it's taking forever to. Now I'd be like, oh, it's not enough. I didn't finish the stuff that I needed to do. Like, honestly. And I'm getting older and older and older. And I see that. Literally now I be driving. I be like, go on past. I be like, go on past. You know, like I'm pushing almost 50 now. I get it. I wish more people would get it. I do. I think this world would be so much a better place. Like when we were inside, the earth was healing. You know, like, dang, I'm glad they inside the house.
That's a part of why I think it happened. I think, you know, I think it needed to balance out, and that's how it's happened sometimes is, you know, it's out of our control. It's a good thing, because I don't, you know, I too, like you, wish that more people could be aware and just kind of be more conscious, truly, in the simplest form. But I've also come to this piece of knowing that the right amount of people will be conscious, and that's all in balance too. And I shouldn't say in consciousness, like, because they're going to live in their consciousness, and that's fit for their journey. It's been a really hard pill to swallow, just knowing that everybody is the way that they're supposed to be, and I can show up and I can do these things with you, and the right ears will hear it.
Yes.
And that's the most important. That's all I need to do then, right? And everyone else is going to be who they're going to be. I do believe in lifetimes. I do believe that, you know, it's very specific to why you're here and when you're here. So I can't expect anybody else to understand what I understand, and I don't need to understand what they understand, because we are living in our own space and time.
Absolutely. And that's
hard to digest, but
that's the reflection.
Yes. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And soundbite, thanks to Sabrina.
If anybody know about them sound bites, I was like, what's a sound bite? I was like, give us another sound bite. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Wait.
Boy, that was experience. Yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. And I can honestly say that I believe that. I know I say it all the time, like, I wish more people, because I really do. I really wish more people got it. But, you know, like I said, too, at the end of the day, I really only worry about like me and my daughter. You know, I can like if I'm gonna go to the pond, I can't make you come to the pond with me. You know what I'm saying? So just like the horse, I can take you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. You know, and it's like, and I'm okay with that. But, you know, and that, as long as I know, like, I'm good, then I'm good. You know, the people that are around me, I'm very particular about the people that I have around me in my circle, just how I move. Like, I don't, even me doing events, even if they're paid events, if I don't feel like the energy is good or the people are just, I'll excuse myself. Just hanging out with people that, you know, I really don't feel like they have like my best interest at heart. Like, I just won't go. Like, and I'll say, I don't feel comfortable, I'm not gonna go. Like, or, you know, like, you know, I appreciate, you know, you trying to be my friend, but I don't really think that this is a friendship that's gonna work. Like, I'm just so blunt and just so honest, just because I'm so honest with myself. Why am I not going to be honest with you or the things and people around you? And people don't get it. People either love me or they hate me. I promise you, people either love me or they hate me because they just can't stand the realness. But I know the people that love me and then that know exactly how real I am, honestly, like yourself, they're probably just like me. And that's why we get along so well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we've been talking almost 45 minutes and it has not been forced, and it only feels like I've been talking to you for 15.
Right. Yeah. And that's take it back to like ancestors and back in the day in the old times and tribes. I don't think they were able to maybe in the way that we do cultivate a tribe accordingly. They were built into it, but they grew in that same level of consciousness most of the time, and they had tribes. I think the beautiful part of the stuff that we kind of get like these days about things is that you and I were still able to find each other and definitely feel a part of the same tribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that duality that we get to just dance in between and through. And not everyone, it is so hard to accept still to this day sometimes, and especially in my business, because I know that if they are hiring me, it's because the numbers they can bring in. So I'm supposed to put this facade on, or this marketing and this brand to make sure that these companies are still getting what they're perceiving me to be.
Right.
And to just come out here with this project and people, and it's been happening for years, but people be like, that's not who I saw on TV. And not be able to understand, like, I know that's what I do. That's called acting. This is who I am. A lot of people don't like who I really am.
No,
and that's okay. But it took a long time. And they don't need to like me. I'm grateful if they can still appreciate the craft that I do and they can like that character. Awesome. If they can't if they can't handle both, and if just me is messing up the character that I am, they can't like it. And that's probably what companies are scared to let people be authentic. That happens more often than not. Then so be it. But it's a better place to be in when you can just live authentically. I don't think any amount of money or fame and all those things that come with it would be worth it in the long run, because a lot of people, they're business people and they play the game. And I am sure that they are really happy in their authenticity and their space and the way they live. I'm really grateful that the universe has had my back all these years for me to be where I am and who I am.
Yeah.
And it's like the same with you. Like the way that you're so in tune with who you are, even in the sense of where you were like, I'm ready to have a child now.
Yeah.
That level of awareness, that's so healthy, because I still think you would have been a fantastic mother at 28 when you thought about it.
Yeah.
But you really got to do what you wanted to do, and then be in that space where you are able to like nurture from the experiences you've had and give to this beautiful child of yours. And it's beautiful when you watch relationships be nurtured together and that yin and yang, and they learn that space, and you're still learning with your daughter, like you said, of yourself. But like I just respect that so much, because people, especially women, can feel so pressured with the timeline of when or shouldn't they, or should they have children, and just feel that weight that society puts on them.
Yes.
I mean, you've always been like fuck society, and whether you knew it or not. And I love that. And your daughter is so lucky to have you, Sabrina. She's so lucky to have a mother like you.
Thank you. Tears.
Insert tears production. Can you your waterworks?
All right. No, that means a lot, because I work really hard. This is probably have been my greatest accomplishment. And I literally get up every day and I really work hard at becoming a better mother for her every day. Like, what can I do better for her? What can I do different that will allow her growth, that would make her better? And what can I teach her today that I didn't teach her yesterday? And you know what I mean? So it's just really, really important. Like, since she was in my womb, I was singing ABCs to her, and she's very smart, straight A's. She does horseback riding, she does swimming, she does basketball, she does taekwondo. I mean, she's a very, very intelligent girl. Like, during the summers, if she's going to the 5th grade, I'm teaching her 6th grade stuff, and I've always been, like I always say, I wanted to be for her who I needed growing up.
That's so
you know.
important. Who
So,
you needed, but also who she needs too, right?
yeah,
Like, because when you have that awareness, I think our parents and the generations before us, they were so concerned with us being what they wanted us to be because I think ultimately that thought that would bring us safety, right?
yeah.
And I think when you have this level of consciousness that is expanded and more open,
Mm-hmm.
you recognize what the best could be for them, but then you're able to still see them and nurture what is really best for them. You can provide that space. But it wasn't so easy for our parents and the parents before them to act and be that way. So
Mm-hmm.
that in itself is hope. That
Yeah.
right there, in the way that you're raising your daughter, when you say you wish that more
Mhm.
people could, you're doing that and more and
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. And it's hard. And I just want to say shout out to the single parents out there because I've been a single mom since conception, so I've literally been doing this by myself. You know what I mean? Like I don't miss a basketball game. I don't miss homework. I don't miss, anything. And it's just so fulfilling. Even though it gets hard. You know what I mean? Like I have challenges. It's days, especially when she was younger, when she didn't know how to fend for herself. Like I had to get up to cook her breakfast. I had to get up and fix her lunch. I had to drive her here. I had to go do this. I had to. You know how exhausted I was after working a full-time job and running two businesses? Like it was exhausting, but I had to do it. And I just know that it's gonna all pay off because she's gonna be really smart and she's gonna get a good job and she's gonna make a lot of money and then I'm gonna retire at like 54. So, yeah. You
I
know,
mean, that's the hope. That's the deal.
like, Mom, I bought you a new car and a house. Like, what,
What? Stop
girl?
it. Did you get the Rolex too? Did you get the Rolex too? Okay, good girl. Good girl.
You know how like the parents raise their kids like he's gonna play football, he's gonna become a millionaire, he's gonna go pro, he's gonna like that's what I'm doing with her. I'm like, she gonna be somebody doctor, she gonna be somebody president, something.
Yeah, you raise them with that intention and that foundation. I mean, you can count on that.
Yeah.
And yes, shout out to the single parents, especially
Shout out to
mothers. Mom, I love you. I was raised by a single mother who everything that you said did the same thing. I have
yeah,
no idea how she did it.
it's so hard.
She didn't come from anything. She wasn't born into money or
Neither.
support. She moved to California by herself when I was
Mm-hmm.
4 years old. I came out here with her, and she hustled and worked over 3 jobs just to provide and put us in a good area and
Yeah.
live on our 2-bedroom apartment. She did everything, and on top of that, was driving me to auditions and to work into LA and then going out and driving so far out for her appointments. Like, I don't get how she did it. And I
Yeah.
am forever, forever,
Mhm.
forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
So thank you to all you single moms out there. Keep doing your thing and keep being the incredible humans you are. Not everyone's made for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like but I wouldn't change anything, like it was all designed to be exactly how it is. And I don't question anything. I just kind of live in the moment and appreciate every moment and every chance that I have with her and doing this thing called life and just being able to show her that it's more to life than what she sees right in front of her. So
Mm,
mhm,
that part.
that part.
And you wouldn't have been able to really be in this space without being rejected from society
Let me
and from the kids and you know
Gus, I've been through a lot. Like, I've been through a lot. Like, I remember just real quick story. Like, I always talk about, so I'm just going to kind of go down some of the things. And I always said, I wish someone would interview me. So I've been in a relationship when I was 17 years old. I was in a relationship. No, I was 15. I was in a relationship with a guy, domestic situation. He was not right. He put a gun up to my head and he actually shot the gun off, but I hit his hand. So the gun went in front of me. So it missed my head. Yeah. And then after that, serious situation was on the news. And so let me get to that part. So then when I was 17, he robbed a bank. and then he robbed a jewelry store. It was a high-speed chase. They ended up locking him up. So he ended up getting locked up. He got out about 3.5 years later. He found me again. I met up with him with his mom because I was like, I need to talk to you, because he said, if I ever get locked up and if you leave me, I'm going to kill you. I believed him. So he got out of jail. I met up with him. I was like, remember when you said you were going to kill me? He was like, yeah, I'm not about that life anymore. I'm into God. I'm reading the Bible. Not even 4 months after that, the girl that he was cheating on me with when I was 15, she started dating him again. Well, he ended up killing her about 2 months after I met him. And he said that he was into God and reading the Bible and all that stuff. He's literally in prison to this day for life. It was all over the news. So I went through that at a very, very young age. When I turned about 22, my mom and my dad, my mom, I don't think really cared for me growing up. So I had a really, really hard childhood. Like my mom, she wasn't loving. She was Korean. They're not affectionate creatures. My father was in the military. He and I we really didn't speak. Well, anyway, I didn't want to be home because I felt like I was in a cage. My mom never wanted to hear me. She wanted me to live by her rules, the way that she thought, and the way that she thought just wasn't right. Like, it was bad. I'm talking bad, and I don't even want to say anything too bad about it because she just recently passed, so I don't want to go there. But I didn't want to come home. And then when I was out, I had lost my job. I was like 22 years old. I was like, Mom, Dad, can I come home? They was like, yeah, you can't come back here. So I literally stayed gone up until about 12 years ago because I didn't want to be with them. Like, I'm like, y'all treated me bad. Like, I used to get so jealous of people when they would talk about how their parents passed and there was like the closest thing to them. My father was my best friend. My mom was my best friend. I had both of my parents there, and I felt like both of my parents were dead the whole time I was living with them, and they were my parents. I didn't even feel like I had parents, and I would get so jealous. Like, my parents lived to a good age, and I felt like I was alone all my life. You know what I mean? So I dealt with that. They told me I couldn't come home, and I didn't go home. I was pretty much in the streets. I had to figure it out. And that's actually when I said on Ready to Love that I used to dance. I literally started off at working at a gentleman's club, and I worked at the front door because I had to figure it out. I was working for a company, and I was getting paid like $8 an hour. And when it was time for me to get my raise after working there a year, I was supposed to get a 50-cent raise, but they denied me my 50 cent. They only gave me 40 cents. And one of the managers told the other manager, the only person that gets 50 cents is the owner. And I was like, you can take that 10 cents and shove it up your, So I was like, I got to figure it out. So I started working at the gentleman's club. And then, because I had to figure it out, I had to live. I was living in my car for a little while. I was staying at friends' house, sleeping on the couch. One friend had like a basement. I would sleep in like their moldy, like basement. It was nasty, but I had to do what I had to do. I lived in an apartment. It was with a slumlord. It was $250 a month. There was a corner store where I would go there, and they would, put a credit where I would get $20 a week credit so I can get groceries out of the store. And when I got paid, I would pay that back, and I would work at the door at the gentleman's club, and I would get tips. I would make $2.13 an hour, and I would get tips. And then it just got to the point where after I lost my job, I was like, what am I going to do? They had amateur night and wet t-shirt contest. So I did both of the nights, Wednesday and Thursday nights. I literally made $1,000 in 2 nights. And I was like, wow, I don't want to live in my car anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to get more than $20 worth of food. I was like, I'm just going to do, and it wasn't nude. It wasn't, it was like a gentleman's club. You know what I mean? So it was real classy, real tasteful, whatever. So I did do that like 2 nights a week, but I did work at the door like 4 nights a week. And then I did get another job, and I started doing that full time. And then I actually got another job, and I had 2 full-time jobs, but I was working at the club doing that 2 times. So I was like a hustler. I was like, I got to save my money. Ended up getting another apartment. It was a nice apartment. It was refurbished. I loved it. It was still with the slumlord because I couldn't afford much. The rent was $500. I remember I was like, oh my God, I finally have my own place. I was about 24 at this time. I went and I adopted 2 little kittens. I went to the Goodwill, got me some dishes and stuff. I remember they had like this little fish tank. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fish. So I did all that. I fixed my place up. Literally everything was from Goodwill. I had my clothes from Goodwill. I was like, I feel so good about myself. I was like, finally. 3 days before Christmas, my apartment burned down. So I lost everything. And your face went from so I lost everything. I had to start from the bottom again. And that's what I did. I stayed at friends' houses. I did that. You know, I still went to work. I still had to do what I had to do. Lived back in my car some nights. A friend of mine bought me a membership to the gym so I could go and take showers every day. And so I could like brush my teeth and stuff like that and, you know, get myself ready for work. So I did that. And I want to say about 9 or 10 months later, I finally got an apartment. And that was literally, and I was probably about 26 years old. And that's where like stuff just started to pick up for me. I remember seeing Real Sex HBO. I was 27 years old and I remember watching HBO and I saw Real Sex on TV, and it wasn't like a sex show or whatever, but it was like all about like taboo, Pandora's box, like those kind of experiences. Like, you know, like, have you ever thought like people that have dungeons in their, ironically, that's what we're talking about already, love now, in their basements, and people that, you know, do erotic, go to erotic shows that, you know, just like crazy but stuff back when I was 27, that was what, 19, that was like 98, 90. So anyway, it was like 1999 around that time. So to talk about stuff like that was, I can't believe they're showing that stuff. Well, anywhere, there was a strip club that was based out of Washington, D.C. They did Miss Black nude pageants, and it was like a strip club. And they used to travel to Jamaica every year, and they would have the Miss Black nude pageant. So one night, I'm 27 years old. I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, I can't believe they're on TV doing a strip show, and they're having a pageant. Like they're really wearing gowns and all this other stuff and bikinis and like doing like talent. And I'm like, you know, like these are strippers. I was like, I can't believe this. So I was so intrigued. And the only club that did it was Club 55, which was based out of Washington, D.C. in Southeast. Shout out to the Double Nickel. They're not there now because the Navy Yard and all that is there. They tore all that down. So I said to myself, and I was living in Richmond at the time, and I remember watching that show and said, I'm going to go to that club and I'm going to audition and I'm going to do that pageant and I'm going to win. I was Miss Black Nude 2002. So mind you, I manifested this in 1997.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't even know why I want to do this. And I'm like, but you know what? I was like, because this is the time where I'm like, this is straight savage mode. So this was the beginning of it. I was like, I don't care what people are going to think. I don't care what people, I'm just going to, like, my parents disowned me. They didn't want to have anything to do with me. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to lose. So I did it. I did the pageant. I didn't have any money, of course, because I was broke, really. I literally traveled there. I moved to Maryland. I did the pageant. I didn't have any costumes or anything. So I went to the Goodwill, and this is how I started sewing. This is how I became a fashion designer, because I didn't have any money for that pageant. So I went to the Goodwill, my favorite store, and there was a sewing machine there, ironically, just a regular Singer sewing machine.
Was it ironic? Was it ironic?
Exactly. For $20. I bought that sewing machine. I went to the fabric store. I literally went to the clearance rack or the clearance basket at like Joann's or whatever. And I went and got all this cheap fabric for like 99 cents. Like I couldn't afford much. And I literally made all of my costumes and all of my outfits for that pageant. And I won. I won that pageant. Literally, I had no idea when they were standing there before saying third runner-up, second runner-up. I'm standing there like I'm in Jamaica. I was like, I ain't never been out the country. I was born out the country, but I was a little girl when I came here. Other than that, I ain't never had a passport. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm in Jamaica. I'm about to go give me some shots. We about to go smoke a J. Like, living my best life. Okay, I was like, I can't believe I'm here. And they were like, and I'm over here like, yeah, we about to go party. They was like, and the winner is Zena. And I was like, did they just call me? My name was Zena.
Stop, because that's my favorite TV show of all time. I have every box set. I love Zena so much. So when you said Zena, I was like, stop.
Yep.
What made you choose that name, Zena?
because I was like the biggest girl there. I was like an Amazon. So I was like 6'1" in heels.
Warrior princess in real life.
So yeah.
And you won. Zeno won.
And I won, and that's how I started sewing. So even though like I worked at the club, I was like, I don't want to do this forever. I was like, I just needed the money. Now it's like I'm working myself up. I got me a little apartment, like everything was good. So I ended up getting into insurance, life insurance. So I started selling life insurance. I was the top producer for a whole year. I was also with another big business. I did accounting for them, and I worked for them almost 7 years. And I was dancing on the side just because it was something fun to do. So like when people are like, oh my God, she danced, because I said it on the show. I said it on Ready to Love. I said I danced for 10 years. I did. But y'all failed to like ask me like, what else did I do? So people are like, oh my gosh, she was a stripper for 10 years. Yeah, I did. I danced like 2 days a week. But right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that in my eyes. I told you that. I love it.
Living my best life. But I did. I sold insurance full time. I did accounting for this large firm. I did that full time. And then I danced like 2 days a week. But that's how I started sewing, because I would make my own dance clothes. People would be like, oh my God, that's so cute. Where'd you get that from? The other dancers. I'd be like, I made it. They're like, oh my God, make me one. I'm like, I don't sew for other people. I'm like, I got a $20 sewing machine. I'm like, this material, girl. I was like, this material cheap, girl. I was like, you don't want the shoes. They was like, yes, I do. So I started sewing dance outfits. I was making more money selling dance outfits than I was dancing with the accounting job and selling insurance. I was making more money selling costumes. That's how I started sewing. And that's how I became a fashion designer. And I taught myself how to sew with that $20 sewing machine.
I'm trying not to cry right now.
Oh. Stop, because you're going to make me cry. That's right here. Stop. Don't make me, let me get it together.
Sabrina, like that resilience. I hope people hear this, really do. I am at a loss for words, but just in awe, but not because I see your spirit, who you are today, and I would kind of expect nothing else but a crazy, hard fucking life, but also things like connecting the dots, and for it to just be that space where you kept fighting, you just kept going,
kept fighting,
and then like and then it switched and it turned and it kept going, and you just, even when I'm sure you just felt like you couldn't breathe
all the time,
you kept it up. You kept it up. You made rejection your fucking bitch.
I did. That's why it's so important that I protect my peace, because it took a lot for me to get to where I am today.
Yeah.
It was hard.
You earned it in spades. And if anybody can't understand what you mean when you say that, they never will understand. And they don't need to. But I really hope that this hits the right ears, because I know there are so many people that have had to deal with what you did and were in your shoes. And they just need that extra little push. And sometimes they can't find it themselves. And I hope that they hear this.
And I want to conclude. I have one more last story. 12 years ago, I hit my lowest of the low of the lowest of the low. I thought that something was going to kill me, or I was going to kill myself. And I didn't know what it was. Whatever it was evil. And I remember that house that I bought on the water. I remember I called my mom. And I think a lot of it had to do was because I wasn't in a good place with myself, and because I wasn't in a good place with my parents. So I said, I have to go home. I said, I think I need to go home. Maybe these spirits or whatever it is running me away from whatever I'm doing right now. Because whatever it is, it's leading me back home to the place where I said I would never go back from when I was 22 years old. So 12 years ago, I called my mom. I said, Mom, I need to come home. She was like, what about the house? I was like, screw the house. She said, when do you want to come home? I called her on a Thursday. I said, yesterday. She said, what? She said, you come home now? You know, she's Korean. She said, you come home now? I was like, yeah. She said, when you come home? I said, when can you come get me? I called her on a Tuesday. She came to Thursday with a U-Haul and 2 men and helped me move my whole house and brought me back here to Virginia. And for 12 years, I said to myself, my mom is going to be my mama. My dad is going to be my daddy. And I don't care. I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to deal with their crazy asses. I'm going to deal with their mouths and their negativity and their drama and their poking at a bear and their cussing and fussing and yelling. Because it was a very negative environment, but they were crazy, but they were so in love with each other. They were married 50 years.
Wow.
I said, I'm going to deal with it. All the backlash. I said, you got to be strong, Sabrina, because you need to have this relationship with your parents, because once they go, they're going to be gone. And I need to do this for myself before they go. So I stayed here and I took care of my parents for 12 years. I made sure that when my mom was like, I buy groceries, I'm like, I'm on my way. I literally bought a house 15 minutes from them so I could be closer to them. So if they needed me, I was there at a drop of a dime for any reason. My mom be like, I'm hungry. You go eat with me. I'm coming, mama. No matter how mad I was always there for her. Daddy needs you to change his diaper. I can't change his diaper. He cussing me out. I'd be like, I'm on my way. We changing his diaper. You know what I mean? And literally to her last breath, I was there for her 2 weeks before she passed. And it was the first time she let me cut her hair and dye her hair. And then 2 weeks after that, she got sick. 3 weeks after that, she passed. My mom was my dad's full-time caretaker because he had dementia. And I took care of my father full-time. When she passed, his health started to decline rapidly. I washed my father. I bathed him from head to toe. I fed him 3 meals a day. I put a new movie on for him every 2 hours. You know, I walked him around the house, the backyard, so he could get some energy, some vitamin D. Made sure he had healthy meals, fed him meals that were good for his dementia. And just did the things that he, needed for me, as my mom would have done. Played him his Otis Redding and his, love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I played his music for him. And I did all the things that I felt like I could do for him. And it was hard. It was probably one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do in my life, was to change my father's diapers. You know what I mean?
I don't want to know what you mean, but I know what you mean. It
was hard. It would be days where he would forget how to walk. And my dad was in the military.
Oh.
And I remember I had a walker for him. And I said, I had to learn about dementia. I had to know like what the symptoms were. Like, I just had to learn about it. And I remember he would be in his walker and he would needed to go to the bathroom so I could wash him and bathe him. Because it was just in the house. I didn't have special equipment, and I had to do it on my own. And he would forget how to walk, and I would have to be like, he was in the Army. I'd be like, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So he could be like, oh, because people don't understand, when you have dementia, they forget how to do things.
Yeah.
Towards the end, he forgot how to eat.
Ooh.
He didn't. I would be like, go ahead, daddy. Before, he used to love food. He would feed himself. He used to love food. He would savor every bite. You could tell. Towards the end, he would just look at his food. He didn't know what to do with it. He didn't know how to walk.
Oh my gosh.
He just didn't know. He forgot. He was forgetting. His brain was deteriorating. So I can honestly say that When my dad passed last August, I can honestly say, up until that point, my life was completely fulfilled. Like, I literally have done a 360, and I'm so blessed and grateful to have enjoyed this ride. And I can honestly say that if my ride ended here today, that I would be okay. And this is all I wanted from 12 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I did it. Everything that I set out to do in my whole life, I did.
You did. You did it in spades. You did it in spades.
Yeah. So
Oh my God, Sabrina!
I know I'm so sorry, but I just, I just hope that my story can inspire like someone else, and just to let you guys know, like, life is not going to be what you think it's going to be or what you feel like it should be, or you just have to make life exactly how you want to make life. The good, the bad, the ugly. Just accept it and embrace it all. And stop thinking that it has to be this way when it could be that way and it can still be beautiful.
That perspective is so key. You know, it's easier for you to grasp because you've chosen to be phenomenal.
Thank you.
Um, and I hope that this, people can choose to be that way too. It's you say choose yourself, but yet you've been so selfless. But it's because you chose to be yourself that you were able to be that way. I know it sounds contradicting. I know it kind of doesn't make sense, but they are one and the same.
Yeah.
Because through that process, you found your authenticity. You found the way that you move. And you were able, regardless of the way your parents or the world or anything accepted you, you still were able. I don't know how you did that. You pushed past it, and you were able to go home and still be that for your parents when they weren't willing to be that for you.
It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Sabrina, first of all, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I'll always be here for you.
Likewise, every time we talk, and it's been too long since we talk, I fall in love with you more and more. You are so special.
Thank you.
And I really, really look forward to seeing. I know that you said you are fulfilled, and you've done everything you need to do. If this next moment isn't meant to be for you in this space and time, but I really look forward to just seeing what is out there and what comes next.
Me too.
I'm really excited for that because you deserve the world and more. And I see you cracking your heart open more and more every day. And I just see somebody finding their way to you and you saying, yes, okay. Because you deserve it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I receive.
Oh, I love that. Well, now she got us all emotional over here.
Lord have mercy. I'm always crying.
Sensitive people.
Yeah.
It's our strength. It's our power.
Yeah, it's okay. I embrace it. Like when people cry, especially when it's something, that it saddens them. I really don't say don't cry. I really say it's okay, cry. And I embrace them. Like, cry, let it out. It's okay to cry. Like, it's okay. I want you to cry.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cathartic. Yeah. It's necessary.
Yeah.
I try to keep my things at an hour, and we went over 18 minutes, and I am so happy. And I really hope that people don't get frightened by the time, because
they won't.
Right. They won't. And it's beautiful, but I'm going to have you back. We're going to have to do this again.
Okay. Well, hopefully it'll be somebody sitting next to me.
Yeah. I expect nothing less. Sabrina.
Yeah.
I will keep that intention for you going too in my space for you.
Absolutely.
I really look forward to that for you.
Thank you. Me too. Just being very patient.
Yeah, I think patience is key. And we know timing is everything.
Absolutely.
I can see everything around you moving. I can see everything around you moving in the way it's supposed to. If you could sum up this whole thing that you just shared with me, if possible, and put into the way that you've overcome rejection and you are where you are right now, what word would describe you?
What word would describe me? I'm going to give you something better. I've been saying this saying for a really long time, and I never knew why I used to say it until maybe a few years ago. But one thing I always say, and one of my phrases that I always use is inhale life, exhale love.
Mm,
Yeah.
that makes complete sense for you. That is exactly what you've been doing this whole time. That has pushed you to be where you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Oh. I was like, I'm not going to cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
really
I had
beautiful.
no idea that I was going to open up the way that I did. But I don't know. But like I said, I don't question my footsteps. I just kind of follow my heart. And my heart was just saying, these are the things you need to say, Sabrina. Like, say all these things. Say it. You need to say it. I don't know why I needed to say it tonight. I don't know why I needed to say it to you. I don't know why I needed to say it to you. I don't know why. I don't know. I felt it in my heart. So I said those things. And I'm glad that I did. It's kind of like, whoo. It's like therapy session for me. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
just like public speaking to try to, it's like now not speaking to try to reach, like you're speaking to Gus, like that's your friend, just talk to Gus. So it felt good to talk to you tonight.
I'm I'm so I'm just so grateful that you feel that you can share that space with me.
I do
Thank you.
feel good about it, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for having this platform and having this safe space for rejections like myself.
Like us all, for all of us rejects out there.
Exactly.
Seriously, I mean, I like to think, and I've been trying to say that rejection is a superpower, and
Yeah.
truly, you rejection has been your superpower. You are
Yeah.
a superhero.
Yeah. And might I add that
Hmm.
after one of my domestic violence relationships, I wrote about it and I became an author.
Yeah, that's exactly what you. That was perfect timing. I want to know more
Yeah.
about that, where people can read your book, find your book, buy your book, your
Yeah.
YouTube, just anywhere, your fashions. Please share that now.
Oh God. Well, right now, everything else is kind of put on hold, but definitely I do my YouTube consistently. It's where I'm able to express myself, my voice, my clothes, who I am as a person. If you want to follow me on social media, everything is literally at Miss Sabrina Soul. You can find me there. Yeah. That's it. It's
Perfect.
funny being on the other side saying that. Usually it's you guys saying it on my platform. I'm like,
Yeah, I know. Is it awkward when you have to like say you're like, no, thank you. But that's it.
now I know
Please
how y'all
do.
feel.
Yeah, exactly. Please, absolutely check her out. I have a feeling that a lot of people are gonna just check you out just because of your energy and love you like I do, and her fashion and her conversation, just everything. Thank you again for coming on here.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
It's crazy. We've never met in person, her and I,
Never.
but I mean, you would never think that. And I have just such a genuine love for you. I love you. Thank you.
Oh, I love you too. And I can't wait to meet you in person one
I
day.
know. I
I can't
know.
wait. Oh my God, we're going to be so turned up.
Yes. We got to make that happen. We got to make that happen.
Absolutely. Agreed. Agreed. All
Well,
right.
until next time you rejects, thank you for realizing that rejection is something powerful. And this woman right here is an exact example of that. So don't be afraid. If she can do it, you can do it.
You can
Until
do
next time.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. But most importantly, go out there today and get rejected, you beautiful rejects. I am Gustavo Victor Carr, and this is Rejection and Reflection. Until next time.